Hello, my name is Wes Brown, and I am the Technical Product Manager on the OpenLMIS project. In this video, I will be demoing some of the new features that were released in versions 3.7 and 3.8 of OpenLMIS. There are three main new features that we released. The first is system notifications, the second is updatable products, and the last is an improved user role management system. To start, I'm going to log in as an administrator. And this will show the first new feature of system notifications. We can see here, right now there are no system notifications set up in the system, but when you log into your dashboard, you can see both a notification icon here, as well as the information on the dashboard. All of this system notification information is configurable within the system here under the Administration System Notifications menu item. So we can see here we have no system notifications have been set up, so I'll create a new one. So we can add a message, a date to start showing the notification, a date to stop showing the notification, an optional title, and then we can also mark whether or not it is active, meaning whether or not it will appear or not. So I'll click Add System Notification to save that. We can see that it was saved and it shows up here. If we go back to our home screen and then refresh, we'll see our new system notification. The next new feature is the ability to edit products. So to view this feature, I'm going to go to the product list. And then click on the edit action. And all of these fields are now editable, as well as everything on these additional product tabs as well. Some of these were already editable in the past, but now they all are. This seems like a very basic feature, and in some ways it is, but underneath the covers it's actually very complicated. First, just to show how this works, I'm just going to change this and add test at the end and remove this unhelpful product description. Click Save, and I can see that the product description went away and the name was updated. The reason this is complicated is that we want to ensure that we do not edit historical information when we're changing the product now. For example, if we have a requisition from 3 months ago and we were to change, let's say, the pack rounding threshold or the net content, we wouldn't want to change the data that we had for that previous requisition that happened 3 months ago. And so the way that we implemented this feature in the back end was to make the products in any orderables all versionable, so that any change that is ever made in the system is tracked, so that when when a product is used by, let's say, a requisition, it uses not only a product, but it uses a product at a specific point in time. So this was a very significant change, and actually took us a long time to implement. So something very simple, it was actually very complicated. But now it's very simple to be able to update the products within the system and not have to worry about all these changes and be able to keep all your historical data accurate. The last new feature that I'm going to demo is improvements that we made to our user role management. So to see this, I'm going to go to our user list. And just to remind you what our roles look like, we can see for this first Carlos Vieira role, our user, here's the roles that they've been configured with. So you can see roles are not just simple roles given to a specific user, but they also take into account the program, supervisory node, and then a role. So you can see they can be quite complicated. So if I go back to my user list, I'm going to go to a new user that I created. And see this user has no roles assigned to them. The feature that we added now is this import roles feature, which will copy the roles from an existing user to the user that we're working with. So we can see here we have a list of all the users in the system. I can select a specific user by doing a search here. So I want to copy the roles from the Devo1 user to the user that I created, W Brown. So after completing that, I can see here's all the roles that were copied over, including roles that had a specific program and supervisory node, as well as those that just had a program. And we can see that these are copied over for every single one of the tabs here that actually had roles defined. When I click Save User Roles, my user is now set up with the same user rights as the Devo1 user. We think that this is a very useful shortcut for system administrators as they're setting up the system and also as they are adding new system users over time, so that they don't have to try to remember the exact roles for each user, but rather can copy from an existing user that has the same type of permissions that a user needs. So those are the three main features that have been added to OpenLMIS versions 3.7 and 3.8. System notifications, editable products, and improvements to our user role management. We want to thank USAID, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Dial, and the Digital Square for the support to make these releases happen, as well as our many community partners, including Village Reach, Chai, JSI, and our many implementations that give us feedback and help us prioritize as we make releases every quarter.